Okay, so let's start with the part. This is part three, actually. Book three, I should say. This was not an easy test for those of you who actually took the time this week to do it. You're gonna find a lot of questions that are wordy, difficult to understand, and you have to be very, very careful. Um, well, let's take care of book three right here. And it says use the map. Which place is located at -3 and -3? So from the origin, from the middle, you're going to -3 says walk back 3 spaces, and then you're going to go down 3 spaces. So part A, that was easy enough, is the library. Okay. On Saturday, the school band marched from the school to the stadium. So from the school is right here. Okay. And you're walking to the stadium. And after the game, the band marched back to school. How many blocks did the band march on Saturday? So when they went from the school to the stadium and from the stadium back to school. Okay, so how many units? How many blocks? Well, it's 3 to go each way. So 3 to go from the school to the stadium plus another 3 to go from the stadium to the school gives you a total of 6. Okay, so that was probably one of the easiest questions in the whole test. 62. A rental hall charges a fee of $4.50 to rent a hall plus $15 per guest. The total cost C of renting the hall for a party for G guests is given by the formula or the equation C equals $4.50 plus 15G. Now, we've done these in class. Okay, remember it's almost like that question where you rent a gym for a dance and you charge $5 per guest that we did in class. Okay, so $4.50 you're going to pay no matter what. Whether one person comes, 0 people come, or a lot of people attend, it's $4.50. But you also got to pay an entrance fee of $15 per guest. So, first one, part A, how much will it cost for a party of 50 guests? That's easy enough. Well, let's take the equation here that they're given to us. C equals $4.50, which is the rent of the hall or the gym, plus $15 per people or per guest. This you got to pay no matter what. So now you got to figure out what this is. So 50 people are coming, so you're going to take 15 and multiply by 50 because every person's got to pay $15. So let's multiply that on top. And that's a 0. 5 and 5 is 25. Goes to 750. So this, your guess, costs $750. Now you got to find out what the total is because you also got to pay for the gym, or for in this case the hall. So $450 for renting the place and $750 for all the people gives you a total of $1,200. Okay, very easy. Okay, that one's also easy. Question C: Alex paid $1,575 to rent the hall. Paid $1,575 to rent it. How many guests did he have at his party? Well, all right. So again, his total, from my understanding. Okay, actually, I much would have rather if they wrote that Alex paid a total of $1,575 for the evening. Okay, because that could be a little deceiving here. So, anyways, so what I think he means is that at the end of the night, he spent $1,574. I'm sorry. That was his expense for the night. That includes paying for the hall and paying for the people. Now, we want to know how many guests came. Well, let's figure out what we can do here. $1,575 was his total. Let's take the $450 that he paid for the hall. 7 minus 5 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. Okay, so this was to rent the place. Now this amount here is for the guests. So he paid a total of $1,125 for the guests. Well, how much was each guest? Each guest was $15. So it's an easy problem here where you're going to have to do division. So this is book 3, right? You're going to have a calculator here, so make use of it. So to find out how many people came, well, you know how much you paid. You paid $1,125 for all the people that came to your party. And each person cost 15, so let's figure out how many people came. So 15 does not go into 1, does not go into 11, but goes into 112 7 times. 7 times 5 is 25, goes 2, 35, goes 3, that gives you 10. Subtract A little boring. 12 minus 5 is 7. Bring the 5 down. And 15 goes into 75 5 times. This is the number of guests that are coming to your party. Notice that in neither of them, part A or part B, they have any room for you to do any work. I mean, they have that empty space here, okay, right here. It's not much room, and you're gonna wonder why. Well, one of the reasons why is because A, they don't care about your work here. They only care about the answer. And why is that? It's because you have a calculator. Okay, so think about that. All right, take advantage that on day 2 you have a calculator. All right, so here, a lot of things going on in this question. Carol's making a quilt using quilt blocks like the one showing below. All the shaded squares are the same, and all the shaded triangles are the same. So that's a good thing. Okay, so what's our first question? I believe the question was, what's the area of all the squares combined, all the shaded squares? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 squares. Okay, we know that we have 5 squares, and they're all the same. Let's try to figure out the area of one square. Look at the one in the middle where you actually have numbers. A square, all the sides are the same. So the area of a square is just base times height, or length times width, whatever you want to call it. And in this case, it's just area equals, let's call it side times side. All right, but let's just use base times height, which is 3 times 3, or 9 inches squared. But we have 5 squares, so it would be 5 times 9, giving you 45 inches squared. Please put the unit. You are going to lose points if you just write 45. Oh, actually, it already says square inches, so you're good. And it says show your work. So this one actually tells you to show your work. So you are going to write that there are 5 squares. Explain to the person that there are 5 squares. You find the area of one of them, and then you get to multiply 5 times 9 to get 45 inches squared. Okay? And triangle, oh, B. Explain one way to find the area of the shaded triangles combined without using the formula area equals half times base times height, which is the same thing we did in class, but you're probably more used to this, base times height over 2, which is the same thing as this. Okay, it means the same thing. Okay, these two are exactly the same thing. We like to use, or I like to use this one. Okay, so how are we going to find the area of the triangles, these triangles right here, these 4 triangles, without using this? Well, I'm going to draw these triangles very pretty as I can. Here's one triangle. Okay. Here's another triangle. And here's the bottom 2 triangles. And we have another one right here. Okay. Now, they don't want you to use that equation, half base times height divided by 2. Now, remember what a triangle is. Okay. What's a triangle? Let me put this on top over here, and this part on top of here. So what truly is a triangle? A triangle is really a rectangle cut in half. Look what I've done. If I put all those 4 triangles, 2 and 2 on top of each other here, I get a rectangle. So how can I find the area of all 4 triangles? Well, if I get all 4 triangles, I get 2 rectangles. And I know what the base is. Okay, here is 6, and this is 6 as well. So here I get 6 times 6 is 36. Area equals base times height. Should have written that first. And then 6 times 6, which equals 36 inches squared. So that's for these 2 triangles. The other 2 triangles, let's see, this is 6. The height is 6 because it's a rectangle. Area equals base times height. Area equals 6 times 6, and you get 36 inches. And I forgot to square on the other side. So the total will be 36 plus 36, which gives you 72 inches squared. Okay, that's the way they wanted you to do this one. So that's part B. And part C, what's the area of the quilt block that is white? Alright, so let me just remember a couple of numbers, 72 and 45. Okay. 72 and 45. All right, that's good. We're looking at this shape, and we want the area of all the white space. Okay. What's the white space? The white space actually, let me try to do it this way. Imagine if you not do that. Okay. To find the area of the white space, you can find the area of the whole thing. Okay. And take out, you have a square. Let me try to draw this. You have another square over here. You have another square over here. Another square over here. You have a square in the middle. And you have a triangle right here. You have another triangle right here. You have another triangle right here. And sorry if it's not the same. That's this. Okay. There we go. Alright, that's roughly what you have. So you want to find the area of anything that's white, of the white part. Okay, let me just say. So, basically what are you doing? You have a square and you're making holes on that square. Okay? You're cutting off this part up. Okay? You're cutting off this square in the corner, another square. You're punching holes in here. Not holes. You're punching shapes here. Not phrasing this correctly. You have a square, and you're gonna cut out. You have a big square, I'm sorry, and you're gonna cut out the small square in the corner. You're gonna cut out this one. You're gonna cut out this part. You're gonna cut out that part. You're gonna cut out a square in the middle, and then you're gonna cut out triangles out. And you're gonna be left with some paper, which is this white area right here. Okay, on this side. How much do you have left over? Well, find the area of the whole square. The whole square from here to here, it's what? Oh, it looks like it's 6. From here to here, I know it's 6 plus the 3 in the middle plus another 6 over here. So the base is 6 and 6 is 12, but 3 is 15. And the height is also the same thing. So the area of this is base times height, which gives you 15 times 15, or 225 inches squared. Okay. Now you got to subtract that. So you got to get 225. You got to take all the squares out, and the squares were what? There were 5 of them. Remember we did that. And there were 45. A total of 45. And then you also got to subtract the triangles. And the triangles, okay, they were equal to 72. So you got your whole square, the big square. You're going to take all the squares out, the smaller squares out, which are these. Okay, and then you're going to take all the triangles out. And you're going to have a leftover piece. 225, let's do the first two. 225 minus 45. 0, 12 minus 4 is 80. 180. And then you got to take 72 out. 10 minus 2 is 8. That's a 0. Final answer 108. So 108 inches squared is the area of all the white parts over here. That's the easiest way to do this problem. Okay? Wow, a lot. This question would have been quite hard. 64. Please tell me recording. Yeah. 64. No, here we go. Ryan bought 2.25 pounds of almonds and divided them into 8 bags. So here we go. Division problem. Write an equation to represent the bags B he can fill. Well, I have this much, and I want to divide them into this, and that's going to give me my total number of bags. There's my equation. Okay. 2. Solve the equation to find the number of bags. Well, it doesn't tell you which way to use, so you're free to use any way you want. So let's just do by multiplying by the reciprocal. So 4 and 2 is 8 plus 1. So let's change this to a what? To a to a improper. Okay, divided by 1/8, and we can go 9/4 times. We're gonna flip the reciprocal to find the reciprocal. 8 over 1, and 9 times 8 is 72, divided by 4. And we're going to simplify this. Does it say? Yeah, we got to simplify because we want the number of bags. 72 divided by 4. Boof, 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 boof. 4 goes into 7 once. And you got 3, 32. You got to make 18 bags. Okay. Part C. Ooh, modeling. Careful here. Okay. If you follow the videos this week, we did a day on division. Okay, and they want... Use the model below shows 2 1/4 pounds. Use the model to show your answer. Okay, so, alright, so you got 2 1/4 pounds, and you want to divide it by 1/8. Remember I told you when doing modeling. Okay, let's change this to a mix, an improper first. It's 9 over 4 divided by 1/8. Okay, so that's the same thing as 2 over 4, so we haven't done anything. When modeling, I'd much rather you change this to the same denominator. So let's make that an 8. Find the LCM. We're not going to multiply by the reciprocal. We're going to keep it everything. And 8, this was times 2, and this is times 2. So you get what? 18. And now this is the information you're going to use to do your modeling. Now, let me try to see if I can get that. Okay, so here's a picture that they give you, and let's see how you can use that. Here's a picture that they give you: 2, okay, and 1/4. So you know this guy right here is 1/4. Okay. You want to divide this into what pieces? Into 8s. Well, if that's a quarter, that's another quarter, that's another quarter, right? Now, if you cut each quarter into 8s, there you go. Okay, so we got to cut everything here into 8s. That's 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's count this. This is 1/8. You have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. So you have a total of 8/8 on this. 9/8, 10/8, 11/8, 12/8, 13/8, 14. No, sorry, 9/8, 10/8, 11/8, 12/8, 13/8, 14/8, 15/8, 16/8. Okay, and you only want quarter is this one, so you're only interested up to here, and that makes it 18 over 8. Okay, I'm not going to shade all the other ones. So all this, that's 8 over 8 plus another 8 over 8, 16/8 plus another 2/8, you get 16/8. And then you're asked how many 1/8s fit into these. Okay, so you can tell them, hey, you can fit it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, 10 times, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So 1/8 fits into 18 over 8 18 times. Okay. 65. I didn't like this question. Actually, I didn't like a lot of the questions here. Laura works 20 hours a week. She earns $256. which includes a 15 weekly bonus. So $256 a week. Okay. And she works 20 hours. Okay. Write an equation to find how much Laura earns per hour. Ooh, tricky. Well, you're going to say, well, divide 256 by 20 and we can find the number of hours. Not true. Okay, because she gets a 15 weekly bonus. So she works, okay, she gets some money, and the boss then pulls her aside and says, here, take another 15 bucks extra. That is not part of her hourly. So, to find how much money she makes per hour, you would have to do this, minus 15. Okay, so, I will have to do 250. You want an equation? I'm sorry. It's 256 minus 15, and let's protect that in parentheses. Okay, because we got to take the bonus out. Okay, so 256 minus her bonus. Okay, because her bonus is not part of her hourly. Okay, money that she earns, and then we're going to divide it by 20, and that's going to give us our hourly rate. Okay, so 256, and we can even do it. Actually, we have to do it. So part B, 256 minus 15 is going to be, this is going to equal to 241. Okay, and divide by 20 equals our hourly rate. And you're going to have a calculator again, like I said. So, in essence, so let's work this backwards. She works 20 hours, she gets a check for $240, and then her boss comes and says, here, take another 15 bucks as a bonus. Okay, so that's what the first statement meant. Now we got to divide, find out what 241 divided by 20 is, and then I'll actually do it because I don't have a calculator next to me. Alright, I don't. So 241 divided by 20, it's 120, and that's a 4. Bring 1 down, that's a 2. That's going to be a 40. 1 left over. We are going to continue this, put a decimal, which allows me to bring a 0 down. 20 does not go into 10, so it's a 0. Bring another 0 down. But 20 goes into 105 times. There's her hourly rate. She makes $12.05 per hour. Okay? So last week she worked 20 hours. And 20 times 12.05 gave her 241. And then she got a $15 bonus on top of that. Okay. Oh my God, part C. After getting a raise in her hourly rate, Laura now earns $275 a week. This still includes the $15 weekly bonus. What is hours? Right, so it's the same thing again. Okay, same exact question. What was the point? So again, last week she made $275, which included a bonus. Her boss gave her $15 extra. So let's take the bonus out. $275 minus the bonus means that 7 minus 1 is 6. She made $260 working the same hour. Okay. So this week she got a raise. So it's $260 for 20 hours. Okay, which does not include the bonus. That's why I subtracted by 15. Okay, for 20 hours. Let's see what that means. Well, 260 divided by 20 hours means that her raise, let's see, what's her new hourly rate? 20 goes to 26 once is 26. 20 goes into 60 3 times. So her new hourly rate is $13. Okay? And wow, these again, guys, this mirrors these are, I'm expecting questions like this. Okay, and notice that in these 3 questions in number 65, none of them said show your work, except part B. Part A says write the equation. That's easy. Okay, that's easy. Well, you don't need to show much work there. Part B, solve. And part C, especially part C, that's what I meant. Part C, all this room over here, but they didn't say show your work, so which is a little unfortunate because the whole question is going to be based simply on what you write on that line. Okay. 66. Let's see, what do you want? Blah, 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 square. Find the coordinates of, okay, so you want to make a square here. Okay, and find the area. All right, that's not that difficult. So I'm going to try to draw this here. Okay, obviously, you have so many choices. So if this is your coordinate plane, and you say they call this A and B, you can create two, something like this, C and D, if you wanted to. There's your square if you connect those dots. You have room on this side. There you go. You can make that C and D. That's also square if you connect them. So you have options here. Okay, so you have options. The only thing you have to make sure is that the distance between each point is the same because this is a square. So A and B, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the distance here, okay, distance is 5 units. So here to here should be 5, and let's call that C. And here to here should also be 5, and let's call that D. Okay, so the measurement of each of these, I'll make it in red, each of these sides of your square should be 5 units. Okay, so let's see what C would be. C would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C would be 2 and 3. And B would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be 2 and negative 2. 2 and negative 2. That would be the coordinates of my vertices, C and D. What's the area of the square? Well, the square is made up of how many? You can just count all the squares inside, or simply 5 times 5, which is 25 units squared. Okay? Please, oh, and this question, look at that. It just says answer, so you have to actually write 25 units squared. Don't write just 25, okay? Let's see. Uh-oh. Alright, so I don't know why this is sideways. I have to look sideways, you cannot. The graph represents the last 5 years of a computer hard drive production for quality. Okay, number of computer hard disks produced, time in years. So in 1 year they've made 1,200, in 2 years 2,400, in 3 years 3,600. Okay, that's how I'm reading my graph. The variable t represents time in years. List the order pairs for t equals 1 and t equals 2. Well, when t equals 1, the order pairs are going to be 1. So in year 1, you make 1,200. There's my ordered pair. In year 2, which is 2, I made, or the company made, 2,400 hard drives. So there. That was easy enough. Okay, it's just like finding the points in the coordinate plane. Write an equation to demonstrate the relationship between time and the number of hard disk produced P. Okay, well, remember who is your dependent and independent? Okay, T or P, the time or the production here. This, usually, okay. Does the time depend on the number, or does the number of hard disks depend on the time? Well, the number of hard disks depend on the time. So, which makes the disk produced, P, the dependent, and the dependent is what? What's the relationship? It's going to be 1,200 times T. Okay, because you notice it's always times 1,200. 1 year, 1 times 1,200 is 1,200. 2 years is 2 times 1,200. 3 years is 3 times 1,200. So there's your relationship right there. Very simple. Okay. 68. Olivia is 4 feet 10 inches. She compared her height with her youngest sister and found that Susan is 15 inches shorter than her. What's Olivia's height in inches? Alright, so Okay, that's your question. All right, let's find Olivia heights. Olivia is 4 feet 10 inches, and it says that each foot is 12 inches. So 4 feet times 12, that's the same thing as 48 inches. Okay, and there's also the 10 over here, so plus 10 inches. In inches, it means that her height is 58 inches. Express her younger sister height in centimeters. Alright, so hang on a second. This is Olivia, by the way. This is Olivia. Okay. And her Susan, her younger sister, is 15 inches shorter. So if Olivia is 58, Susan, first of all, Susan's height is going to be 58 minus 15, because she's 15 inches shorter, and that gives you a 3 and a 4. So Susan is 43 inches. All right. So, and express her sisters in centimeters. So 1 inch equals 2.54. Okay. 2.54 centimeters. So 43 inches, you will multiply by 2.54. Not sure I understand this question, but here we go. So it's be 12, 16, no, 12, 17, and 15, 21. And this would be a 1, 2, 6, and 8. So 2, 12, 9, 10. Oh, I forgot to do something here. We're multiplying decimals. Okay, so this 43 has 0 decimal place values. This one has 2 decimal place values, which means if you add these up, 0 and 2 is 2. Our answer should have 2 decimal place values. So it's going to be 1, 2 between the 9 and the 2. And the height of Susan is 109.22 centimeters. Okay, please write your units. Okay. Weird question. 69. Consider the equality. Use substitution to determine which number in the set, -4, -6, 3, and 7, makes the inequality true. Show your work. Alright, so here we go. You got x plus 8 is greater than 13. And you got a bunch of numbers here. -4, -6, 3, and 7. They're saying which of these numbers, maybe 1 or 2, or 3 or all of them, will make that true. Substitute. So let's start with -4. So if I put, why would they put -4 here? Alright, little problem here, okay, because you're dealing with subtraction of integers and you have not learned that. So to a certain point, this question does not apply to you because, well, with 3 and 7, yes. With the numbers 3 and 7, yes. And the numbers -4, -6, not really. They wouldn't give that to you. But I'll do it anyway. Alright, so in part B, well, so if you put -4 over here, plus 8 equals greater than 13, this is going to be a 4. This one, obviously, not true. Okay. If you put -6, you get -6 plus 8 is greater than 13. This is going to give you a 2, positive 2, and that's not greater than 13, so that's not true. 3. Let's see, 3 plus 8 is greater than 13, and you get 11 is greater than 13, and this is not true. And then 7 plus 8 is greater than 13, and you get 15 is greater than 13. So the only number that works is 7. Okay? Show your work. This would be showing your work. Okay. B, solve the inequality. That you definitely didn't do, but I'll do it anyway for those who actually attempt it. Okay, solving the inequality. Okay, it's not much different than solving a equation. -8, -8. Okay, and you get x equals greater than 5. So that's the solution to my problem. So x equals greater than 5. I am going to plot this. So that's going to be 5. I'll write a couple numbers on each side, 7. And circle on top of the 5. And we're not shading it, but we're pointing this way. Okay, if you pick any number on this side or to the right of 5, it won't make that inequality true. And explain why 5 is not a solution to the equality. Well, if you actually put 5 over here, 5 is not greater than 5. Or actually, I'm sorry, if you put the number 5 back here in the original inequality, 5 plus 8 is not greater than 13. It's actually equal to 13. Okay, if you had that sign here at the bottom, then that would be a different story. Okay, so 69, question 69, half of it sort of applies to you. Okay. Overall, I still think the multiple choice questions were really complicated. Some of them were really complicated. Okay, they were difficult to understand, but I expect that. I can't tell you not to. Okay, so you'll get more practice as we go along. Okay, I'll post this right now. It is 10:36 a.m. Should be up by 11.